So here's the thing, right? I was looking at my analytics today and I noticed that you weren't subscribed. So why the hell are you not subscribed? Oh, by the way, do you like... Whoa, can't do that anymore. I learned my lesson from last time, considering everybody got angry at me in the comments. But right, here we are with a 2021 Mandalorian set, and I'm going to be comparing it to the mock that I made not too long ago that I have an individual video about, and you can kind of consider this one a follow-up video to that video, because this video is going to be comparing this Mandalorian set that's just come out for 2021 to the mock that I made not too long ago, and just giving my general opinions on this new Mandalorian set and whether it's worth your time and your money. Now, here are the sets side by side, and if I must say, this set is really cool. I didn't think that it was going to be as cool as it was, but building it, I think it's actually a pretty nice little set. I love to see these little Star Wars sets becoming more and more complex and giving you a more interesting build for such a cheap price, and this set is no exception. Looking at the two bikes here side by side, you can clearly tell that my bike that I've made here on the left is certainly more to the scale of the minifig. I still think that this bike here included in the set is just too large for the minifigure to ride in terms of scale. I understand that not everybody is going for the whole scale of things, and it's also good that this bike can still fit in the Razor Crest, and it's also a nice strong bike. There's one thing I will say about mine where it's not the strongest of things, but it certainly is still strong enough to play with. You can also see that LEGO's version here has a lot more detail in terms of engine detail, as well as a place for Baby Yoda, also known as Grogu, to sit in the back using this CMF baby carrier piece from one of the series a while back. This just places the Baby Yoda slightly more accurately, and yes, it's not the best connection on the actual official LEGO set, but it's still a better connection than one that I would probably have done on my cider bike, so I gotta give LEGO this point. In terms of the side builds, now obviously on the side builds, I built the Cobb-Vanth Speeder. I think that that's a way more fitting piece for this kind of a set, considering that they were riding side by side, and I understand LEGO probably only got concept art for Season 2 to make this set, as they do with most of their sets, but I still think we need to add Cobb-Vanth Speeder to this set and maybe increase it by £10 still would have been okay. And if I'm totally honest, a lot of people are annoyed at the fact that we haven't had a Cobb-Vanth Speeder, and I know that Cobb-Vanth didn't really appear much in the Mandalorian Season 2, but it was one episode, and I still think the community really liked his inclusion, so having a minifigure of him, especially with the whole Boba Fett thing going on in Mandalorian Season 2, having a minifigure of him I just felt was crucial, and again I feel like it's a missed opportunity that LEGO once again have not taken. A lot of missed opportunities with this whole Mando wave. And in terms of the Tuscan Raider side of this set, like I say, I didn't build anything to do with the Tuscan Raider as part of my set. I did the Mando speeder bike and the Cobb-Vanth speeder bike driving along. I think that looks really cool. In terms of the Tuscan Raider, the builds are actually quite nice. I really do like I know it's got a specific name, but I'm going to call it the big crossbow because I have no idea what the name is off the top of my head, but I really like the big crossbow. The only downside I see to it is the fact that it can't actually stand up on its own. Well, I mean, there are ways of making it stand up on its own, but the inclusion of this clear brick underneath I just don't think is really necessary. I think you could have fabricated a way to make it, stand up on its own and it still not look like that. I just don't like that clear piece look under something that clearly looks like it could stand up on its own. Speaking of things I don't really like, I don't really like the hut. It's a brick built hut, and I don't think a cloth hut would have been better, but I do think that this is not good enough for what I'm paying for, essentially. I think if you look at sets like Obi-Wan's hut and the 501st Battle Pack, this just feels like an extra add-on that I didn't need. I would have much rather these pieces went into something like a Cobb-Vanth Speeder and then paid an extra bit of money for a Cobb-Vanth minifigure, so we'd get 3 full minifigures out of this pack here, and it could have been one of the best sets to buy in the Star Wars January 2021 wave. Obviously, in terms of things like the minifigures, comparing it to the old Mando, you can see that this new Mando is 100 times better. I really like the arm printing. I really don't understand why the old one didn't get the same treatment, considering it came in 2 fairly pricey sets, but it's nice to see that we're getting the Beskar armor in a nice cheap set, and arguably the minifigure looks even better than it does in pictures. I'm so glad I got this fig. It's a really good part of a really cheap set. I'm so glad that we got arm printing. Stuff like arm printing and leg printing is really something I think LEGO is starting to neglect, and it's nice to see that Some minifigures still can be as good as some of the classic minifigures that we've had throughout the years, and it just feels like we've had minifigures that are declining in quality, and this is a nice breath of fresh air. But now let's say it together, folks.
Is this worth my fucking money?
Wow, we got 2 in a row. Speaking of which, if you didn't see the last episode, could you go back and watch it? Because the video flopped and it was one of the best episodes yet. And it's a good video. You should go and watch it again, even if you've seen it. Anyway, I think this set is really a lot like Marmite. You're either going to love it or hate it. If I'm totally honest, I think some people are literally just going to buy the Mando fig from places like Bricklink because it's really the only massive attractor to the set, and if you can get the fig for a significantly less price than buying the set, I have a feeling that that's going to be a better option than just buying the set. Obviously the set isn't out till next year, so you have to ask yourself, is it worth £28? I reckon it is. Even though we didn't get a Cobb Vanth speeder, you can always go ahead and build your own and just use a Boba Fett figure in the same way Ash has built him. You've got some decent parts in there, and most of them are in good colors, and the bike is actually a really good build, even though I personally prefer my one, but we'll go with that. Like I say, if the Cobb Vanth speeder bike had been included in this, I think things may have been slightly different, taking it from like a 6 out of 10 set to like a 9 or a 10 out of 10 set, but alas, I don't think that's the case in this situation. But the Mando figure looks really good with your other sets, like the Razor Crest, so I understand that some people are just going to be buying this set just for the Mando fig to put alongside other builds. If I'm totally honest, I wish the set had been like this, but getting back to it being a comparison video, this set cost me £28 from a supermarket. This set cost me around £20 to £30, and that's not including the minifigures. And obviously if you want the new Mando from this set and you want a Boba Fett figure, it depends what Boba Fett figure you're going to buy, but they can get quite pricey, so you're probably looking at adding another £10 on top of this set. But hey, I don't know, it's your decision at the end of the day of which one that you would rather go for. Personally, I still think my set is better. I'm just glad that I can now put the correct Mando on the speeder bike that I have, and I've got a cool Tuscan Raider to kind of go along with my other Tuscan Raider that I have from Obi-Wan's hut and try and complete more of a scene, which I think is kind of cool. So I'll display it in 2 separate areas on my shelves. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that you are going to make my version, which by the way you can find all the instructions and everything on the previous video that I made for it, and are you going to buy the Trouble on Tatooine set? It's a really good set, I'd highly recommend it, and I think that's everything. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, please give it a like and a sub. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that bell so you never miss another video that I put out on this channel. Like I said before, please go back and watch the previous video. It flopped and I have no idea why. Even if you've seen the video, please go and watch it again just to show your support. Please check the links in the description below, and I will speak to you guys in the next video. Goodbye.